satisfied. Oh Lord, you cover me, oh, your glory's all there is to see. Oh, chasing me, oh, catching me day by day. I agree. And so every day, your praise is all I sing, I bring. If all I have is only you, and all I need is all in you, then I live for only you, and I give my all to you. In you, I will sing, for the joy of the Lord has now become my strength. Here's my peace and I am satisfied. He's taken the sorrow, given a new song to sing. Forever I will sing, oh, I will sing. Forever I will sing, oh, I will sing. Everybody says it. For the joy.
Well, hello, and great morning, everyone. Welcome to our CCC show, Connection Show. This is our podcast. Welcome. If you are just not connecting, I'm going to ask you, go get your cup, your favorite cup, because I got mine. Yes, my co-hosts, they have theirs. So grab your favorite cup of coffee. It could be coffee, tea, just your favorite cup, because our conversation today is going to be about credit and coffee. So with that saying, I have some very amazing people with us this morning. Yes. So our first so we have Saranes as usual. You know, he's here. We have our very good friend, Miss Paulette Baskerville. She's with the Baskerville Wealth Strategies Group. And she's here. She's joining us today, guys. You are in for a treat. We're going to have some fun, and we're gonna have a good conversation around. I want to say we're gonna have a conversation around coffee and credit. So, with that saying, first I'm gonna let my guests introduce themselves. But just before I let them introduce themselves, we don't want to be complete strangers. For those of you who don't know, my name is Coach Serenice, and I change lives. How do I change lives? I change lives by helping people with their personal and business finance, aka business credit, and also personal credit. So we have a credit rehabilitation program. My background is in nursing, and I have a heart for helping people, and I have a heart for seeing people grow and expand and thrive in life. With that, Sam, I'm gonna pass the mic over to Saranes. He's gonna tell you a little bit more about himself, and then the conversation will start. If you are watching us, feel free to communicate with us in the chat. We can see the chat and we can get you an answer. If you have any kind of questions, put them in the chat. And please, please, guys, do us three things. A big, big, big favor. Share this live.
Share it.
Share it, share it, share it. Wherever you're watching it, share it on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever. Just share it because other people got to see the information. And number two is if you haven't done so already, like our page, subscribe, and also connect. And that's really about it. And then number three, participate. All right, Saranes.
Well, hello everyone. It is my absolute pleasure to be here as the co-host for the CCNC show every Thursday morning, 9 a.m. We are here to have great conversation and sip on our coffee. And for many of you who don't know, I'm just friends, everything, and obviously I'm here co-hosting with my sister the show today. My background has always been in financial services and sales. So on my days, I help people protect, grow, and thrive financially. So that's what I do. And obviously, I do have my information. We can talk more about that in just a moment. But pleasure to be here.
Now we got Miss Corliss Basketball. She is our special guest for today. So you're gonna see more of us, and it's very funny that we have the CCC Connect in Serenese. We have
So sorry,
Saranes and we have
and call
Corliss.
it. There you go.
Isn't
Yeah,
that
I
funny?
mean, isn't that funny, right? I mean, it's funny you saying that. That, by the way, that was not planned. That just God's, you know, what do you call it, planning, or that just by coincidence that the name of the church is CCC. And today, lucky you, you have the three C's to be here with you today, and we're gonna have a good conversation.
Yes, yes. Go ahead, Corliss. Tell them about you.
Yes, yes, yes. So I want to first say good morning to everyone who's here and who's listening. I want to thank Coach Serenise as well as Theranis for having me here this morning as your guest. As she said, my name is Corliss Baskerville, and I am the owner of the Baskerville Wealth Strategies Group, where we help people redefine wealth and build legacy for their families. And we do that for individuals, we do that for families, and we do that for businesses because we want people, we like to see people win and we like to serve them in doing that. So we want to help business owners get their businesses to a point so they can leverage other people's money and monetize their business, build it, and protect their personal assets in the process.
Awesome.
Excellent, excellent. All right, now just before we get started, what's in your cup, Miss Corliss?
Well, in my cup, and it says I love my grand dog, but in this cup is a delicious cup of coffee. My husband makes Folgers, and for some reason I don't make it well, but he makes it, and it tastes so heavenly and divine. So that is what I am drinking this morning with some skinny syrup,
There you go.
no sugar, and none of that extra stuff.
Ah,
Just
that's skinny syrup. I need to be introduced to that.
it, yeah, it has plenty of different flavors in it.
Really?
Like they have it in all different types of flavors, and it just helps bring your coffee to a place of deliciousness.
Excellent. I should try it. Saradas, what's in your cup?
What's in my cup today is okay. It's not coffee. I know this name of the show is coffee, but I am a 100% green tea type of guy. So every morning I love my hot tea. That's what I drink. So today I have, let me see, it's called brew. la tea. I don't know what that is, but if it's hot tea, I'll drink it. So I don't have any favorite preference. So if it's a hot tea, just a little bit of brown sugar, make it warm. So the minute it hits my mouth, it goes down my stomach, it warms me up, and it gives me the biggest smile that I can have for the day. And I love it. It just warms my stomach up. So anybody who knows me knows that I love me some hot tea, and that's what I do. I can drink hot tea and 8 o'clock in the morning or 11 p.m. at night, so it doesn't matter. So I'll have my hot tea. I ideally green tea that is. So and maybe a little bit of ginger if I have that too. I'm good. So that's what I have. So by the way, you guys need to give me some kudos. I have my red shirt and I have my red cup. So it's all about them
I
matching.
noticed you're matching over there.
So I was very mindful and very thoughtful of you guys. So I figured I couldn't have a black cup and a red shirt. So I figured my red shirt and then my red cup.
Way to go.
So
Me, as
in
usual,
your
I
cup,
got black coffee on my cup. So, and mine says, what does it say? It says, say yes to the next generation. Say yes to the next generation. You guys can
I like
see it.
that.
I like it. As a matter of fact, my church gave it to me because I volunteered to, and then they gave it to me. So I love it. I like grabbing it because it reminds me to say yes to the next generation. All right, guys, let's jump into the conversation. So the conversation is going to be around coffee and credit. Now, as you can see, coffee is one of the most known language like word in any languages.
Yeah.
Okay, you have coffee and you have the word okay. The word okay, and then you got coffee. Coffee
So
is something that it's one legal drug that there is a legal addiction or legal addiction. Let's put it that way. That is out
okay.
there, and
So I was gonna say I'm gonna put Corliss on the pop quiz. By the way, I know had no idea that was gonna be, but let's go ahead and give it.
No, I did not.
Yes, your dish is always a pop quiz Thursday. So
Okay.
by fair, I want you to guess how many millions of people a cup of coffee do you think Americans consumed every year? Um,
Whoa.
yeah,
How many cups
how many cups of coffee?
consume in a
Yeah,
year?
might have per day.
Only
Yeah,
American?
every
Americans
year,
per day. No, I'm sorry, per day.
call is like
Americans as a whole,
Yes.
or
Well, meaning that people
as
in
a
America, who drink coffee. How many cups of coffee do you think they drink in a day?
she's like, let me ask
I,
Google, let me ask Siri.
I was going to do that. I was going to go to Google, but I said, you know what? I'm not going to do that. Let's say
All
if
right.
you're talking about as individuals, I would say 4 to 5 cups a day.
Okay.
I know
So
I myself consume coffee.
I think you just about right because it says Americans consume over 400 million cups of coffee a day. That is nuts. That is crazy. I'd be like, geez. I mean, it's just crazy. But I was shocked. But I'm glad somebody's doing that for me out there because I'm not one of them. Somebody's
Well,
having
there's
my
a lot
share of
of
that coffee.
Americans.
That was having my share of the coffee. All right. So, like we were talking about the coffee, not the coffee revolution, but the importance of coffee in many people's lives. And what we want to do today is bring the similarity of how people need coffee to function, and then also on the financial side, you also need to have good credit. So we can talk about. I don't know you, Corliss, if you want to tell us a little bit about your experience when it comes to coffee, or maybe do you know someone who be like, don't talk to me because I haven't had my coffee. Like you've seen the shirt everywhere. Be like, okay, I haven't had my coffee. Let's not have a conversation. So tell us what's your love with coffee.
Well, I'm not that person. You can talk to me before I have coffee because normally I don't get to really enjoy my coffee till I have an 8-year-old, till I at least get him out the house and I have some peace and quiet so that I can like truly enjoy my cup of coffee without interruption. So you can talk to me before I have coffee, but I'm warmer after I've had my cup of
There
coffee.
you go. There you go. All
What
right.
about you?
And
Is there any?
she likes her
Oh,
coffee.
that's right. I'm doing the pop quiz.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No, I was gonna say no. I just I, I couldn't tell the difference between a good coffee and the bad coffee, even if it slaps me in the face. I have no idea. I know
Oh, I could tell you.
when
It's all about the flavor for
I'm
me.
telling when people be
It's
like,
all
"Well,
about
this is a
the
good cup of coffee," I'll be, "What do you mean?" To me, it's almost like I have no idea what it's. Seriously, even if it slapped me in the face, I couldn't tell the difference between a good cup of coffee and a bad one. So people be like, "Oh man, you got to try this. This is so good." What do you mean? They all taste the same to me. If and when I drink coffee. And I was gonna say, I don't know how people do it when they have their coffee. Last week I learned having your coffee black means you don't put any sugar in it. So you basically have it the way it is, right?
Well, I don't put sugar in mine per se, but I do put, as I said, simple syrup, which is sugar free.
Right. So very good. All right, coach.
Because you got to have the flavor. You got to have that flavor.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, absolutely.
So the flavor is good, like Miss Cora said, and the flavor it's important. So a real coffee drinker, like for instance, someone who works at Starbucks that have their usual, meaning people that come by every day,
Hmm.
you don't have to they already know the person, what they like for instance, Mr. Smith, he likes his coffee with two sugar, two milk. It just has to be right. It just has to be right. So they know that's the person's kind of initial. So when it comes to coffee, it's very important. So talking about initials, so if you see how important the numbers are important when it comes to coffee, meaning if you have creamers, some people they say, okay, I want my cup on average is about an 8-ounce cup. I like my cup with two sugar, two creamers, or one creamer, two sugar. And I have a few people that likes their coffee. They like their milk with coffee. So when I used to be with the coffee connoisseur as a barista,
Hmm.
people would say, "Hey, I would like milk with coffee." Well, milk with coffee, what it means, a whole lot of milk or creamer with just a little bit of coffee. So with that saying,
That would
so
be my
if you see how
recipe.
important it is for people, it's as important as credit. So why do we pick the topic coffee and credit? Well, first, they both start with C, and so that's one thing. But I'm just kidding, guys. But it's because they're both very important in somebody's daily life. Very important. Now, I'm gonna share something with you guys that kind of shocked me because as a credit consultant myself, when I saw that, it kind of like, ouch, At first, I thought it was a joke. You know how the internet with AI, they're always making makeup things. I thought it was some kind of makeup. But I will share that with you guys, and I'm sure if you haven't seen this, that means you haven't been using your,
Paying attention.
you haven't really put it everywhere. So I'm gonna share that with you guys in 5 minutes. So I'll share that with you. But go ahead, we can continue with the conversation with the intention of having a good credit in America. Now, despite what's going on, having a good cup of coffee is important. But what's really important in America is having good credit. Now we do
Right.
have numbers attached to our names. We have our birthday, and also we have, that's those are some important numbers to remember. Our anniversaries. I hope there are all kind of anniversaries, but your credit scores very very important. Now, guys, with that saying, why do you guys think having a good credit score is very important here in America?
I'm gonna say this. I think, for lack of better, for lack of better words, I would say good credit. It's almost like trust, right? So I feel like it's the same thing. You know how when you talk to someone and it's about trust, right? So good credit. Now, yeah, don't get me wrong. So there could be many things why someone has challenges, but the reason why it's good credit is important because let's face it, that's just the fortunately, unfortunately, that's the society that we live in, right? So um, unless you are born into a very extremely wealthy family, you can't get around many of the things that you want to get done. You just, you have to, someone has to kind of finance you life in general. Unless you just want to choose, okay, I'm going to live under a bridge. I'm not going to have a home. I don't want to drive a car. Even if you don't can be you're not in a position to purchase, maybe you say, okay, I'm not even going to rent a home, which like equivalent to being a homeless, living downtown somewhere under a bridge. But if you want to have a relatively functional life, credit is a big aspect, a big part of that for you to live quote unquote a normal life. Because outside of that, then it makes life very hard for you to live. Because let's face it, everybody needs cars, right? Especially in where many parts of the country, maybe let's say if you live in the north, having a car may not be such a big deal, but especially if you live in the south, Florida, many of part of the country, transportation is important. If you need to get around, you need to have a car. And from the most part, getting a car requires you to have good credit. Getting a home, staying in a home requires you to have good credit. So really, the importance of having good credit is like trying to make your life easier and relatively having a normal life. Because outside of that, then it's if you think it's hard to get to maintain good credit, try living life with bad credit, with challenging credit. That's how you find very quick how sucks it is to have bad credit or to have challenges with your credit.
Awesome. You scoreless.
Well, my take on that is I do agree with what Saranis was stating. Having good credit does improve your quality of life, and the fact of that it dictates so many different pieces of our lives, right? So, for one, it does dictate the type of car that we buy, or maybe not even just the type of car, but how much we're paying for that car in the long run, right? It dictates the neighborhoods we live in, the type of houses that we get. Not only that, most another thing is it dictates whether you are hired with a particular company or not. You could be extremely qualified with all of the qualifications for a particular job, but they do that background check and you have horrible credit. And that takes away every other piece of qualification that you had for that job. They're not looking at the fact that you can do the job, but your credit isn't good. So guess what? The next person will get that job. So it dictates a lot of different areas. Even if you want an apartment, can you get that apartment with bad credit? What type of place will accept a person that has bad credit or no credit? It just dictates the different status quos of society.
Yep, absolutely. I mean,
Hmm.
that's very important, And one of the, I mean, one of the many places or industry most people can't work if you have poor credit. I know financial services and the finance or banking industry is definitely the top, one of the top places where if you have challenging um, challenges in your credit, or if you have poor credit or bad credit or even collection, you may as well kiss that industry goodbye. Because the first thing they'll be like, show me your credit, show me your history. Can we trust you with people's information? So that's I'm glad that you may mention that, because that's one area that I forgot about, employment. I mean, think
Hmm.
about that though, so if you need money, so that requires you to have good credit. That you are required to show that you're a trustworthy person. So again, we're not condemning, or we're not saying,
Yeah.
life happens. But if life happens, we also have a responsibility to kind of get to the point that we can maximize or even do a better job getting to a place where we can have a decent credit score, or you can put yourself in the best way to win in life. And I think that's what it means to have good credit.
Right. I think also like the point is you may be able to qualify for certain things. For instance, I'll speak about me.
Mhm.
I remember when my credit score, I think, was maybe in the high fives, maybe low sixes, which some people think, oh, that's good. But no, you're just making it, right? So I remember when I went to my first car was it was top of the line. It was a Lexus GS 350. Never forget it. Named her Lexi, but my credit score was, as I said, either high fives or low sixes. I was, you know how much I was paying a month, and it was a lease. But you know how much I was paying a month for that car? Guess.
Close to 500. I say close to five hundred
Over,
dollars.
over. I was paying over $600 a month
Wow.
for that Lexus,
And that was a
and it had all
lease.
the bells and whistles. It was the latest car, and that was a lease.
Jeez.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
Exactly. So that's the difference in having good credit and bad credit. Yeah, I got the car, but look at what I was paying. And let's take it a step further. Someone that had a 7,800 credit score, they were probably, you know, like when you see those commercials on TV, oh, this car is 200 and something
Yep.
a month. Those are for people with excellent credit.
Exactly.
So let's take that same Lexus and someone that had a 780 credit score. They would have been paying that $200. So I'm paying 400 plus more a month. That money, because of my credit score, that extra money, that money could have went to something else,
That is so
right?
true.
It could have went to an extra bag of groceries. It could have went to, and I was a single mom at one point in time. That could have helped pay my son's school tuition. You know, so you have to think about it that way. Not, well, I got the car anyway. It's about what is it costing me in the long
Yep.
run, and what is it taking away from other parts of my life and my family.
Mhm. Yeah. So I did promise the audience that we're going to play that short video. I'm sure everybody's seen it, but it's everywhere. It's shocking for most people. But I want you guys, I don't care if you have good or bad credit, but put yourself in somebody's shoes, knowing that you've worked hard to maintain your 800 credit score, your 750, and the main goal is so that you can have lower interest, like Miss Cole said, because when your credit is not too good, I don't like calling it bad because bad is a bad word.
When you have challenges.
Bad is a bad word, but let's say your credit score is a little on the challenge side. It's not where it's supposed to be. So you waited years, you paid people money to help you build your credit, all for that prime purpose so that you don't pay too much on cars, so you don't pay too much on things that you're going to finance because you want to have a lower rate. And then
It's
now to find out you're going to be penalized for having good credit. I don't know, guys. I don't know. It just doesn't sit
Oh,
right
I
with
know.
me.
I
The
know what
same
you're
way it
talking
doesn't sit
about.
right with a lot of Americans. Let me go
Yeah,
ahead and
yeah.
play this with you guys. If you haven't seen it, if you're seeing it for the first time, I'm just the messenger.
Yeah, don't shoot the messenger. It is what it is.
All right, I'm gonna play this real quick.
Working hard to save for a down payment to buy your dream home for your family, and maybe you're even a first time home buyer, it no longer matters. Under the new rule, you will pay for other people's mortgages. Yes, you heard that right. Home buyers with good credit will now pay higher rates precisely because they have good credit. Simply speaking, under this new law, you will essentially enable your bank to give mortgage loans to people with poor credit scores by paying the cost of those high risk loans. Are we about to relive something that might be much worse than the 2008 financial crisis that was caused exactly by this subprime mortgage lending? Well, I guess we're about to find out. Before we begin, please do make sure that you subscribe to my channel on YouTube and Rumble. Do take a minute to follow me on Rumble just in case, and give this video a like so more people see it. That's how the algorithm works. You're also welcome to check out my newsletter available on Substack for more content. The current administration is implementing new mortgage rules that go into effect on May the 1st, 2023. The goal of these new rules is to essentially reduce the risk for lenders at your expense. This is not to say that there should not be programs to assist with achieving homeownership, but is it right to do it at the expense of someone who may have been working two jobs trying to save for a down payment? That is the question. The new federal rule enforced by the current administration will make it so that people looking to buy a home with a credit score of 680 or higher will have to pay about $40 per month more than people with worse credit scores when taking out a home loan of $400,000, for example. This could be $100 per month more depending on the size of your loan. The new rule applies to anybody who borrows money that's insured by FHA. This new rule impacts all private banks in the United States. It is truly unprecedented. On a very, very high level, this inherently makes homeownership more difficult to achieve. Homeownership has historically been that building block of wealth accumulation in our society. So this, coupled with higher interest rates and the state our economy is in, will have a substantial impact on the economy. On May the 1st, 2023, private banks nationwide are about to go through a shift in mortgage rates. This is the direct result of what's called loan level price adjustments, or in other words, the upfront fees that you pay when you buy a home. These loan level adjustments are based on your credit score as a buyer and then the down payment that you're able to make. These two things, your credit score and the down payment that you're able to make, will determine the final rate of your home purchase. So it is completely unbelievable. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. I do want to hear your thoughts on this. So this will result in higher monthly payments for those of you with good credit scores that you might have been working on your entire life. Home buyers with higher credit scores, and I'm talking about 700 and above here, will see an increase in their mortgage costs as the direct result of these new regulations. If you're trying to make a down payment that is anywhere between 15 to 20%, you will be hit hard with roughly a quarter point for each rate applied long term. So that is something to be aware of. This is not something that's about to happen, that will happen. These changes have already happened. This rule has been implemented to reduce the amount of risk taken on by mortgage lenders at your expense, of course. At the same time, high-risk homebuyers will get lower fees. Homebuyers with less than great credit scores will now be rewarded with lower mortgage rates. We're talking about fee reductions that make it easier to purchase a home. Home buyers with a credit score between 500 and 680, I believe, will see the biggest decrease in loan level price adjustments. It has been reported that it would be around 0.75 percentage points. With all of that being said, even though the new rule is advertised to make homeownership dreams more achievable, it will lead to higher costs for buyers with good credit who may be in that position only because they've been saving, not buying expensive cars, not eating out every single day, not going on vacations frequently. So this, in a way, is a punishment if you have been fiscally responsible. There's another key point that I'm going to make about this new rule. You should know about this if you are a home buyer, if you are a non-corporate real estate investor.
All right, so that's about it on that subject. So, out, guys, this is plenty of information. So, as you can see, it's very, it hits me some kind of way because me as a professional, that's what we do. All of us here, that's what we do is we assist or help individuals establish. Now, you hear me right? Both, all three of us, Miss Corliss, Mr. Serranes, and myself, we work hard to help people establish good to perfect credit. Okay. We help people establish good to perfect credit, and we help you achieve that by the hard work that we do behind the scene. So with that saying, I want to hear you guys take on that. Miss Collis, Serranes, you guys, you get to give your take. And then anything else you want to talk about. Now, one thing I'm going to say, I don't want people to be calling me, say, hey, coach, I don't want to work on my credit anymore since they're going to penalize me for having a good credit. So,
Well, you know what? That is one of the first things that I wanted to say is that For people that do have challenges with their credit, I do not want you to have the frame of mind or the frame of thinking that, okay, I'm good. I don't have to improve my credit. I can still get a house because keep in mind, number one, what I said before, your credit score does not only affect you buying a home. Those new laws and rules only apply to buying a home. Okay. So if you want to buy a car, if you still want to get that job, you still are applying for credit in other places or want to, or applying for loans for your business, different things of that nature, you still need a good credit score. Okay.
No.
Um, think about your children, think about your family, think about anytime there has to be a background investigation on you for the simplest little things. Your credit score is going to come into effect. So, yes, it's good for the home buyer, right? But your life goes beyond buying a home, right? Because even when you buy the home, the furniture doesn't come with it, right? Neither does the landscaping. All of those things have to be paid for, right? So unless you have a whole lot of cash, a whole lot of cash, and if you do, then your credit score shouldn't be challenged,
Right.
right? So unless you have a good amount of cash, you're still going to need credit to furnish that home and to pay for the upkeep of that home.
Yep. 100%. I was gonna say I think it's well, I mean it's just sensational headlines for the most part. And I know obviously it's government regulations for the most part, but don't I was gonna tell people that's it's cute to just put it on, talk about it in the news, but if anything, that gives you more of a reason to, um, for you to go out there and take advantage, or at least to be responsible for your financial status in life. We talk about getting getting yourself in the right, financial standing, right? So again, I always tell people, I mean, life happens, right? But you are where you are, but the point is that don't stay where you are. Have a be intentional about moving from where you are to where you need to be, because it's so much harder staying where you are, especially if you have bad credit. So I don't. I mean, if again we know things happen, but don't let that's just sensational headlines and something too cute to talk about. But at the end of the
And
day,
it's an election, we have elections coming up
exactly,
too.
exactly. So that's
And yeah, I would say, especially for people in the lower income class, middle to lower class, people that are in marginalized
communities.
um,
Yep.
neighborhoods, communities, ethnicities, to be very careful
True.
because you don't want to get so relaxed thinking that it's okay. You don't have to strive for more because remember, everything has a loophole and there is a behind the
Yep.
scenes agenda for everything that is done. So I would admonish all of those people that are listening out there, stay on your A game.
Yes.
As my son says, keep your head on a swivel and still do what you need to do.
That's
Get
right.
your finances in order
Nice.
because when this thing flips after this election year, especially if we have Republicans in party, everything is going to change back
Yep.
and get worse. And you want to be positioned to
Position.
monetize off of it, not suffer.
Yes.
That's right.
I totally agree, Corliss. That's something great you just said because people sometimes they see it in the news, they they see it the wrong way. They take it the wrong way, and they don't think about the back, you know, the domino effect of it. They don't think about that. They're like, okay, you know what? That's just no. There's always something bigger, behind what you just see. So don't let all that
Hmm.
kind of get you in the hit you in the blind spot because it's gonna be
Mhm.
more. it's gonna be worse later on. So that's something. Yeah, I like that.
Mhm.
But that is so true. That is so true. So talking about, if somebody wanna start working on their credit, or if they've been working on their credit and they wanna continue, what should they do? What can they do? Where can they go to do that?
Well, I would say first and foremost, they need to contact one of us.
Most definitely, absolutely.
um, because we offer them financial literacy as well as helping them with their
Hmm.
credit.
Hmm.
So I would say if there's someone out there that is credit challenged and they want to work on their credit, contact a professional first and foremost, someone that understands the ins and outs of credit and how it works. Because we could think, like, I remember before I got into this business, you get your credit score, you get your credit report rather, because your credit report is what gives you all of the details, and then you just start disputing things and doing this and doing that. Some of those things you really shouldn't dispute. There are little intricacies that are involved with credit. Have your credit report analyzed so that you
Yes.
have direction in what interim of doing that. Pay your credit, pay your bills. Don't pay them once a month, pay them twice a month so that you're a little bit ahead of the game. Have it set up on auto pay so that you don't have to. Because I remember before when I was younger, I would have a check and you're running around. Like I said, I was a single mom and I'm going to work. I'm getting my son, taking him all the way downtown so he could go to this great school and all of these things like that. And you know how many times I forgot I had mail in my pocketbook to send out? And then you remember when you get the late notice, right? Oh my God, I didn't send that out. It's in my pocketbook. Different things like that. So set these things up on auto pay so that you don't have to worry about you want to alleviate things that you don't have to worry about that can have that domino effect,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So if you set things on auto pay, pay them twice a month, that's a good start right there. Now the best start is to contact one of us, then do those other things in the interim.
Yes, yes. Now, I'm gonna give both of you guys an opportunity to tell people where they can find you, on Facebook, on Instagram, or how they can follow you. Because everyone listening, guys, let me let you know that all of us, what we do, we provide value. We provide people with valuable information that's gonna
Mhm.
help you make better decision. Those better decisions gonna help you save money, gonna help you get to a better financial space. So with that saying, we do offer free webinars online. So it's webinar. We offer free webinars throughout the week, but we have a special one, a very special one tonight. If any of you watching this and you want to know more about how you can take control of your credit, how you can take control of your either business credit or personal credit, we invite you to join us tonight. And and the best way to do that, if you go on my page, go on, like, on Facebook, you can find me at Coach Serenise, also Instagram or LinkedIn, Coach Serenise, and then we'll be able to provide you with the link of how you can join us tonight. But very important that people take control of their finances, because if you don't take care of your finances, I always tell people that if you do not take care of your finances won't be able to take care of you. Also, with that saying, if you don't take care of your credit, now your credit won't be able to take care of you when you need
That's
it.
right. That's right.
So it's very important for you to do that. And that's what we do. That's what Miss Kohler said. And reach out to us. I mean, it doesn't have to be about money. We can reach out and we'll provide you with links, with information of how you can do something about the situation that you're in right now. And before we end, with the program, we never end our show without providing you with something that can help you, like a step, help you take a step forward. So I call it call to action.
Hmm.
So last week, I know I gave you guys a website because some people don't know that they can actually order their credit report at no cost to them. Now, the credit bureaus, they used to provide you one a year, but since the last time I checked, which was yesterday, they're still giving them once a week. So they started doing that once a week thing during COVID. So they started that in 2020. And you can still request your credit report once a week, once every 7 days, and you get to see what's on your report. You got to be very strategic, very mindful when it comes to your personal credit. Why? People get their identity stolen.
Mm.
I had a client that called me, her identity was stolen. Somebody purchased a house on her name, a car, they student loans, you name it. The person was living as her and she didn't know about it until it was time for her to actually do something for herself. That's when they're like, oh, what about that mortgage that you have? She's like, mortgage? What mortgage? But anyways, that's another story for another day. But it's very important for people to check your credit scores and your credit report. Very, very, very important. And I will share the link with you where you can go to check your credit score for free. Miss Corliss.
Well, it was a pleasure and an honor to be here with Coach Serenice and Saranis. Um, Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Again, I am Corliss Baskerville from the Baskerville Wealth Strategies Group, and you can find me on Facebook under Corliss Baskerville, or you can find me on Facebook under Corliss the Baskerville Wealth Strategies Group. I am also on Instagram as redefining wealth underscore and legacy, because that is what we do.
Yes.
So those are the main two channels that you can find me on, and I can respond. I respond very quickly on those. So,
Awesome.
Ceramics.
All right, so
Yeah.
100%. And I just want to remind people, if you have questions, go ahead and leave comments in the comment section. You can ask questions. Either Coach Serenise or Corliss will get back to you. And one thing I always tell people, it's okay to wherever you don't be ashamed of where you are today. The question is, what are you doing
Mhm.
starting today on? Okay, it's where you are today is you know, insignificant compared to where you can go, where you can be. So I'm asking everyone, it's if you are where you are today, it is where you are today. But the point is that are you making a decision starting today so you can go in a different direction? So that goes for any and every aspect of your life. So that goes if you have challenges in your credit, don't look at where you how you get to where you are today. Make a decision how I'm moving forward, what I'm doing,
Mhm.
what the decision I'm making, the decision I'm
Right.
making, so to get me into a different in a different place in the future. So people can find me anywhere and everywhere, so I make it easy. So most places you can find me at Saranes. You know, live on Instagram, Saranes, LinkedIn, even Twitter, so you can find me soon on Saranes. And I also make it easy for you guys, so you don't have to go around looking for me. By typing my name, just go on my personal website, saranes.com. I make it easy. I have all the links there, my contact information. You can learn more about me as well, and all the different things that we do on my end. And I'd be more than happy to see enter. So again, I'm always looking for friends, looking for people to have a conversation with. So if you ever want to have a conversation by any means, shoot me a DM, send me a message, or go on my personal website. There's a contact page. You can fill that out, and then I'll get back to you.
Great, great, great. Well, first, even before I give my last comment, I want to give a special thank you to Miss Corliss for joining us today. And we're looking forward to doing this
Yep.
again next week and the weeks
Next
to
week.
come.
Yep.
Guys, we always bring us your questions. You can text us, email us. But to make it easier on you guys, if you're watching us for the first time, there we make it a lot easier for you to connect. you can go on our website. That's just for this podcast. It allows you to connect with us through the our website. So go ahead. The reason it's important to do that is as you connect to our site, it's already on there. Okay, it's on. It's here. Yeah, it's on here. It says CC Connect. Once you do, it allows you to give us some information about you, and with that information,
That's right.
we'll be able to send you some good nuggets. We'll be able to send you information about credit, about things that taking place, about savings and things you can do to help you build your credit. And last thing I'm gonna say on that aspect, we're always giving nuggets. Miss Collins did mention it. Some people don't get it, probably. There's something called the 15-3 rule. 15-3 rule, pretty much, all it does is the 15-3 rules, what it does is it allows you to pay your mortgages or car twice in a month. You pay it on the 15 day before it's due, and also you pay it 3 days before it's due. So that way you make two payments within a month. That works magic. You can go on Google, go on YouTube, type 15-3 or 15/3, and that's the rule Miss Collis was talking about. So with that saying, guys, it's time for us to say goodbye until next week, unless
Right.
Saranes or Collis has something else to add.
No, I don't have anything. So, like
I
you
did
mentioned,
need to.
go ahead, Paulus.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna
I'm the
say,
guest. I can wait.
yeah, no, I was gonna say the people need to stay connected. The CCC network will be a resource platform for people. So if you want, even the show, if you don't get to watch it live, eventually you'll be able to go on that platform, click, and then you can rewatch the show or watch it if you miss the live session. And obviously, I'm sure, Coach, you're gonna have some downloads, ebooks for people to download. There will be newsletters that you can read. Again, that this will be a platform. It will be a resource for people. Obviously, there's nothing for anybody to pay. It's going to be completely zero cost. It's going to be free. So we want people to stay connected. And again, stay connected. If you have questions, you don't want to leave the questions in a public forum, maybe like on social media. There will be a place where you can go in. You just type. You don't even have to type your full name, just your first name, and then send your questions, and then someone from one of us will be able to answer your questions for you.
All right. Well, folks,
I know Miss Corliss had something to say.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Now, I just realized I also wanted to let people know that I do have a website. If you have any additional questions, or if you want to contact me, that my website is baskervillewealth.com, or you can email me at Corliss, Corliss, at baskervillewealth.com.
Excellent. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
All right, guys, it's always a pleasure being here on this platform, talking, having a conversation with you guys. But we want you guys to join the conversation. Share, send us your questions. There's a chat, in the chat and the comment. Send us your questions. We'll answer them for you. Either me, Colis, or Saranes will get the answer for you. And we want to say we love you all. Be great, be amazing, and keep your credit up high. Okay. So work on your personal credit. And if you need help with your business credit, we'll be able to help you as well. With that saying, you guys have a wonderful day.
See you guys
And
next week, same time, same platform, and then you're gonna have the three amigos here live and in person talking to you. And don't forget to send us your questions. That's very important because it's not as good without your questions. So we look forward to your participation in this. And yeah, that's all for me for now.
all right. All right, you
Until
guys.
next time.
Till next time, bye bye, y'all.
All right. Bye.